Thanks for staying with us. This morning on Your View, we are talking snake bites, the myths, the facts, and what really saves lives. Following the tragic death of The Voice Nigeria contestant Ifunanya Nwangene after a snake bite, many Nigerians are asking the same urgent questions. What should you do first? And what should you never do? For instance, should you tie the leg or arm to stop venom from spreading? Or can that actually make things worse? What about cutting the wound, sucking out venom, or using herbs? We'll also look at the bigger issue, anti-venom availability, emergency response in Nigerian hospitals, and why minutes matter. Joining us is Dr. Adefolarin Okbawoye, infectious disease expert and consultant at Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Snake bite. I now saw a video. Let me gist you what I saw in that video.
Go ahead.
So this particular man said he's always warned the wife to always flush before using the toilet. Flush first. Okay. Before sitting. Okay. He's warned the wife because sometimes the toilet, according to him, gathers. It brings out heat of infection. You can get infected, yes, if you have not flushed for a while. Only for the wife to flush before using. Thank God she did not sit immediately. They saw a snake come out. The video is on social media.
Interesting.
They saw a snake come out. So now, for a few days after I saw that video, why did I even watch that video? After I saw that video, before I sit, we flush and then stand for a few minutes.
And be watching.
Be
looking for what is not lost. So.
I'm now paranoid. Doctor, this snake bite issue. What did you see in the story that's about Ifunanya's death? I would like to hear your initial thoughts. How did it happen? What do you think about what happened and the sort of treatment leading to the loss of life for her?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tragic one. And interestingly, I've actually been following her because I'm a music guy myself, you know. Not at anywhere near our level, but I was in the choir at some point, and she has a beautiful voice, you know. I had a rendition of the Champions League anthem and all that. So she was someone that was a bit known to me before all this tragedy happened. And when it happened, also as someone who has worked a lot with snakes and treated hundreds of cases of snake bite, it was really sad. You understand? It was tragic. It's a tragedy that should never have happened. But you see, a lot of times we look at these things from the wrong end. The point is, she should never have been bitten by a snake. That's the truth to start with. You know, if she wasn't bitten by a snake, all the other discussions about in the hospital and all that. So the prevention starts from how do we make sure we get protected from snakes, and it comes to what are snakes doing in our house? When we looked at the snake, she was bitten by most likely a forest cobra. We call it Niger melanica. It's a forest cobra. Emphasis on forest. What is a forest cobra doing in the house? You understand? Now I've had all sorts of theories. Spiritual things and all that. Some people sent it to us. I mean, we are Africans. We have to. That's part of our heritage, right? But the reality is that how is our building codes? How do we build? You understand? Who investigates these things? Who looks at that? Those are the issues that we have to be looking at. We're talking about this toilet. Now, this apparently a lot of people saw this video because, in fact, there was a office briefing that they instructed everybody in the office, make sure you flush. I don't want to hear anybody that has snake bite. This office is your problem. We have warned you on what to do. But that just means that your soakaway is not properly covered. That means that your vent pipe is not okay, because if a snake had entered, how did the snake enter? That means the plumber did not install a backflow pipe. You know, there's a backwater that things can only go out, they cannot come in. Those are things you should do. So we always just, you know, we don't look at root cause analysis. We don't face the issues. That's some of our problems in this country. And unfortunately, this snake bite has exposed a lot, because all of a sudden everybody just set up ring lights and we say all sorts of nonsense. What I've had, I mean, unfortunately, and this is a country where we are blessed when it comes to snake bite. The man that has seen the highest number of snake bites in the world lives in this country. He has treated more than 60,000 cases of snake bite. Wow. I still spoken this morning. Bala. As Dr. S.B. Abubakar is in Kaltungo. He has seen more cases of snake bite than anybody in the world. Wow. We have people like Professor E.J. Habib, we have Garba Elias. These are people that have written, they are top 10 when it comes to snake bite. But of course, these guys, they're brilliant minds. They don't usually go on social media, they don't shout. But these are people that really, we have a whole body of knowledge concerning this thing. We've done a lot of work on it. So when you see people just coming to say, tie it like this, don't tie it like that, carry cutlass, it's just annoying. It's just annoying. And that's where we also need the media to come in. Because a lot of times, you know, people come in on media spaces and say things unchallenged. Unchallenged. Just say all sorts of things.
What about their own personal experiences?
So the personal experiences, we have to be very careful when it comes to personal experiences. You know, because in science we have data. You understand? We have what we call body of evidence.
Yeah.
You get, I can't just say, look, this is my personal experience, and so because of that, that is how everybody is going to be like.
Okay.
You understand? So I've seen all sorts of things. Oh, when my sister had snake bite, they gave her kerosene. I saw it yesterday on TikTok. Thousands of views that, they gave her 3 bottles of kerosene. Jesus. And when she drank it, she vomited everything. And that was all. Hello. So, because again, we have situations where you could have a bite from a venomous snake, and that is not a venomous bite. Because if the snake had just finished feeding, right, and emptied the venom into that animal and then bites the person, then that would be a deadly bite, quote unquote, from
that
a cobra.
explains my snake don't bite me before, nothing to me. That's it. I'm not going snake bite me. I'm just saying people when you hear
So that's the thing. So you cannot just say, because this happened. Because again, so what has happened is that we have actually looked at these traditional things. So there was a study that was done. It was done in Jos that looked at all the traditional methods that we had. The black stone, the incision around the bite, the giving, there's this belief that the tie, that tie is deadly.
Are you
because
sure?
So the challenge with the tie is this, and let me try and explain. Again, studies have been done. In fact, the way the scientists went about the study was that they tied the limb, they measured the concentration of antivenom below the tie and above the tie. There was no difference. Not only that there was no difference, there was the danger that when you tie, you are going to block the blood supply. You understand? And then the arterial supply is going to be gone. The venous supply is going to be gone. The lymphatics that actually carry the venom, you cannot tie them. So the venom is still going, at least to a good extent. And then because blood is not flowing, and then we have had some of those legs we have to cut. We have to amputate them. Because they tie them to, sometimes, like when I worked in Kaltungo at the time as part of my training. And then sometimes some people are traveling for 4 hours before they get to us. 6 hours, 13 hours. Then they have tied it on bike. Boom, like that. By the time they get there, the limb is dead.
Jesus.
You understand? And so nothing has been gained. Okay? That's the challenge. And then the problem is that sometimes when you now untie, the venom that is now concentrated and now
not flow fast.
Burst into the system.
So
and then you have a venom shock. Yeah, go ahead.
I come from a place where we have snakes. I'm from Andoni local government area.
Okay.
When I went to visit my grandmother, they go for, they call it Isam. Yeah. They go to pick Isam, all those things we do in the mud. So we usually have cases of snake bites. Okay. And for all the cases, for when I was there, nobody was ever taken to the hospital.
How did they solve it?
There was a traditional snake man.
Okay.
So most of the time, you see them carrying the person, he. They would have tied the leg and taken to the person, whatever the person does. Some say bitacola and the rest of them, and some say you put onions and the rest of them you cut. So we know that some people have been doing this stuff. I wanted to ask, is there any snake bite that doesn't kill, but you just answer that if it has released its venom already, the second one might not be there?
You couldn't have a snake that is non-venomous at all.
Okay, so every bite...
Not every snake is a venomous snake. You understand? A python, for example, is not venomous. A python tries to squeeze and strangle it. You understand? In fact, that time we used to have a rock python in the house that we kept as a pet, understand, in the snake bite treatment center in Kaltungo. So it's not every snake. So that's one thing. Now, it's not every bite from a venomous snake that is venomous. It could be a dry bite. You understand? But you see, what we do a lot of times, because these traditional guys, we know them, they know us. And we have an agreement, say, chairman, when you reach, you know where to come. Because they know, especially in the areas where, because, we have to recognize that they're an important part of the folklore. People believe in them. So we go to them and say, look, guys, when it gets to this stage, you know that there's a problem.
The question is there no place for traditional treatment of snake bites?
That's why I've tried to say that. You see, I'm not someone that will discount the traditional things. But like I said, we have studied them. Remember that there are things that we are doing now. For example, your drug, Coartem, that almost everybody has used and people use almost every month, was from traditional Chinese medicine. But you see, so I'm not someone that wake up and say, no, traditional things don't work. But when it comes to snake bite, we have actually studied every single traditional method that is claimed. Unfortunately, again, we don't have a writing culture for our tradition, and we have a lot of situations where some of these things are not well passed down. Some of these secrets may have been lost. That's the truth. You understand? So we are not going to discount them. If there's anybody that is sure, bring it. Let us subject it to the science. So we bring it in.
Test it.
You know, but it's difficult to test now.
You can't
because
test spiritual
who
things.
will agree? We agree to be tested on you when you know there's a drug that works. And there's already saying,
There'll be antivenom. Antivenom has two-factor authentication.
Let's get a few more questions, doctor.
Let me throw in this question. Me, I have got to go and buy Aporo Jebu.
Where's my own?
I brought you.
Okay.
Aporo Jebu. They say if snake bites you,
Yes,
just
the original
put Aporo Jebu inside your mouth.
And you vomit.
Activated charcoal, something. I shall have that one because, sir, you have to trust the local one when you go to hospital and there's no antivenom.
No, so
Why was there no antivenom?
So there's a big challenge with antivenom.
Yeah.
You understand? That's something we have to we have to. You know, I mean, as at this morning, because I called the guys at the snakes. I mean, so we have areas where almost every day you have 10, 15 cases of snake bite.
What?
Almost every day, yeah, sometimes, especially during the peak periods. You understand? In a year, you could have up to 6,000 cases, lots of deaths. That is, those are the priority areas. You understand? Now, there you have, so antivenoms now, so there antivenoms are always available.
Okay.
You understand? Because they use them. Now, you come to a place like Lagos where we may not have a case in 10 years. You understand? So why would a pharmacy stock it? So that's the challenge. And that's where, you know, the government needs to step in some of these things, because the government can, so quote unquote, stock it. If people don't use it, bear the loss. In fact, it doesn't make sense from a money perspective, from a financial perspective to do that. So that's the challenge where there's some similarly stock out. So there's a point where you need to have designated centers so that once there is a bite, you know, there's a place you can call and then they can deliver to you. Now, it's not the same thing as having it everywhere, because this things expire. And then when you're having it everywhere, the people that need it actually would not get it. You understand? So it's a balance. It's not paracetamol. It's not a blood pressure medicine. You understand? There are areas where they have not seen one case in 20 years, 25 years. There are areas where, like she said, they have cases regularly, almost, especially when it comes to the planting time. Because the snakes are the victims here. Because they are staying
the one disturbing their habitat.
What about the inside? The one inside?
You disturb them, you have to find somewhere else.
You have to flow somewhere.
Deforestation.
Yeah, you move them away from
poor
their
building
natural
codes and all that. You know,
Yeah.
that's why they are now trying to hide, and that's why, you know, during this kind of weather now, they are looking for cooler places. You know, so they keep shifting around. You understand? They keep moving around in the night and all that. But we are the aggressors here. You understand? And in fact, it's so funny that we, the snake community, don't like just killing them. Because they have a role they play in the ecosystem.
Did you just call yourself snake community?
Nah, we have a snake community. A snake bite community, yeah.
Snakes are cold-blooded, right?
Yes.
And they say they usually go out to look for sun.
Yeah, so generally when the weather is hot like this, they are looking for cooler places. You understand? They want to bask in the cooler areas so they keep moving. You understand? So when there's heat, the sightings are likely to be increased now. You understand? They may be there. You understand? It's not as if they are not there, but they hide. They know how to hide very well. They are shy creatures. They usually go out of their way, you know, except they send them to you.
Hunt.
You believe that aspect?
No,
Except they send to somebody.
We have to be very clear.
So they send them.
No, that's what they say, you know, and that's not scientific, you know, but that's what they say.
I don't think anybody has died of snake bite from my community. What I know is that my community, I'm from Edo State, I'm an EBA girl. EBA girl. And snake, no, they bite us. So we don't harm snakes.
So you know the name of the snake?
Yes, we don't harm snakes. Snakes don't bite us. And it's been like that. My community in English actually means the children of the scorpion.
Yeah.
So
snake cannot bite scorpion.
So that's their history.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask how good, because let me not say how best, is the research for antivenom in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Are we importing venom because antivenom? Because if we import antivenom of the snake with the venom,
are we importing pencils?
Yeah.
No, because that's the question.
So, but surprisingly, there are things that
when you talk about research,
so some of our things like our wires,
yes,
are best made here. The best of them. So I do want to give up.
Let me try and tell you the story of antivenoms. You understand? So, like I told you, some of the best, brilliant minds. In fact, so the number one snake guy in the world, David Warren, I will call him. He's in his 90s now. You know, he's back in England. He had to come to Nigeria and spent a lot of time in Nigeria. You understand? Because Nigeria has one of the highest bodies of snake bite in the world. In terms of research, some of the highest body of work on snake bite in the world is from this country. You understand? Work of people like Professor AJRB, Professor Nasidi and all that. Now, the challenge again with snake bite is that you cannot bring an Indian antivenom, it will not work for a Nigerian snake. Because even if they are the same, because snakes are very specific. So we have the similar snakes across West Africa. In Nigeria, Ghana, Benin Republic, we have the same geography. But the snakes that we have here, that's the Echis bites, you know, that's the carpet viper, you know, which the Yorubas will call paramole. You understand? The Arabs call it Gumedinisa, tomorrow is too far. That means once it bites you, you will not live to see tomorrow. And I think the Igbos call it Ejeteka. You understand? That's the commonest snake in Nigeria. I mean, once you have a bite from that, I mean, more than 90% of our snake bites that's what's responsible. Now you have the puffadder, you understand, or the Bites arietas, and then you have the Cobra. That's the largest species. That one of them, unfortunately, beat the late Ifunanya. You understand? So generally, what we try to do is that we have antivenoms against the most common. That's the Ekita, we call it. Those studies were done in Nigeria. We did extreme research on it. Now, before antivenoms are produced, so they come to Nigeria, they take those snakes, harvest them. You understand? They don't kill them. They keep them alive. Then they take them to these countries. You understand? So that they milk the poison gradually. You understand? And then inject them into it. That's the question.
With all the samples?
That is the question. So they take the snakes from us and then they bring it back, and then our people cannot afford it. One vial of antivenom now, 200,000.
That's flown.
250,000.
The venom travel and came back.
That's good. So those are the challenges. So that's that.
Doctor, on a lighter note, because of time, what's the relationship between singing and snake bites? Because
whistling,
yes, whistling. You know, there was a time we had this Indian movie back in the day. I don't know how old you are, Doctor.
Sunita.
But no, Sunita. It's another snake girl.
Snake girl, the snake girl.
And they will whistle and sing.
I still
and
remember
after that movie, after playing that song, people were seeing snakes around.
Yes.
What's the relationship between whistling and?
But you see, you started with doctor. I'm a doctor, medical doctor. I'm not a babalawo. I'm not a traditionalist. You know, when we belong to the snake bite community, we are not snake. In fact, you know, I remember a time when, because usually we are encouraged when you're a victim of snake bite, we encourage you to be able to identify the snake because it tells us the kind of antivenom you would need and all that. So usually they bring the dead snake because people are like, where's this snake? I want to kill this snake. But in fact, sometimes when you are killing it, the venom is also killing you. You know, that's the challenge. You know, but sometimes it happens. And then I recall a case where, you know, I think it was in Kano. And then we say, oh, where's the snake? And then they brought the snake, and it was a live snake. And then they threw it down. Of course, everybody's scattered. I said, I'm a doctor. Yeah, the snake doctor. I said, no, snake bites doctor, not snake doctor. It's different. You know, so yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of myths and stories around snake. They are very fascinating creatures. You understand? Very, very fascinating. And they have some responses to music. Some say it's not the music, it's the hypnotic movements of whoever. And that's why you see them moving like this, because the snake then tries to make those movements and all that.
So you should stop whistling at night.
I'm not there.
We cannot be whistling in my house at night. But doctor, please, can you advise government? Because the most serious matter is this traveling venom that is going and coming back.
And coming, yeah.
Can you advise, or do you think that we lack the capacity to research and produce antivenom here?
I just told you that. So the brightest minds in the snake world, toxinology we call it, they reside in this country. They live here, they work here. Do you understand?
So we have the solution.
So is it let me put it this way, because as a money, I love anything that will bring us money.
Yes.
Okay. So is it a commercially viable thing for private sector to put their money into now?
Brilliant question. So when it came to, and now, you see, the issue of snake bite, I mean, when the old Ifunanya thing came out, it was a tragedy. But it was a tragedy we see almost every day, because this is what we do. You understand? So we're a bit inane to it. You know, to be honest, we're a bit numb. You understand? There's a lot of work that's been done, a lot of advocacy. You understand? Some powerful NGOs have even been gone to. People that are in charge of TB, HIV. You guys, you have a lot of resources. Let's bring it into snake bite. They said no. It's not an infectious disease. The burden of disease is not that high. It's a niche problem. You understand? I mean, you can compare it to, say, for example, you have a drug tailored towards obesity. Look at how much Ozempic is making billions every year. How much are you really going to make? So it's a niche problem. No. It's not viable. In fact, there are some huge pharmaceuticals that have shut down their antivenom production. Because the market is just not there. Do you understand? It's a disease in the poor areas. You understand? So when you're a CEO and you have to make those decisions in terms of capitalism, it doesn't pay you.
That means there should be an investment for prevention. Okay, this is what can prevent the snakes. That one will be easily.
So that's what we need to focus on. You understand? That's why we actually have a name for them. We call them neglected tropical diseases.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody wants to pump money into them because
so
they are
what can people use to prevent snakes from their homes? Apart from closing the holes.
Building, it comes from avoiding the snake. You understand? Are you taking care of the bushes around your house? You understand? You have clear, good lighting. You understand? So that, I mean, it's not as if the snake is coming, you can see. You understand? Your sewage system is properly closed. Where are the rats? almost every house in Lagos has a rat. You understand? I've seen rats from Ikorodu to Ikoyi. You understand? So it becomes a problem because the snake will go where there's food, where there's shelter.
So if you have rats,
yes.
Oh, the snakes go after them, of course.
They say
The snakes go after them. It's their food.
Baby rats.
So where they have lodging and shelter, what is remaining? They'll stay there.
They will take accommodation. they will.
I used to have rats. I wanted to sink the snake now since I don't see them, but I remember it's cats.
Okay, so your cats have been eating the rats. That's why you have plenty cats. I mean, to eat up all the rats. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
We've been talking to Dr. Adefolari Okpawoye, infectious disease expert and consultant at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Luth. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we hope that we have to start paying attention. We start paying attention to our environments. Because one of the reasons is sometimes when we build in snake-prone areas, nobody goes there to check if those buildings and how to ensure that those buildings don't have snake. We just build anywhere, whether it's fish area, or cat area, or dog area, bushmeat area, everywhere. Just selling all the land in the country. But we bless God. Thank you so much, ladies, for your contributions today. And we had a lovely time on the show with the 3 topics we had. And that's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you again for another beautiful show. Stay. Bye now.